boys and girls? Welcome back to Miss Kitty's Corner. And thank you for joining me for the second part to Dear Mrs. LaRue. So the last episode, if you didn't catch it, we read the first half of Dear Mrs. LaRue. So for this episode, we're going to finish the book and see what happens to Ike. We left off on this page. And let's take a look at the page before just to get a better idea. That's right. Ike was sick in bed, and the doctors diagnosed him with hypochondria. And a hypochondriac is a person who thinks that they're always sick when they actually aren't. So Ike was writing to Mrs. LaRue saying, "They can't find anything wrong, but I have an awful disease. I must come home at once." Dear Mrs. LaRue, October 8th. Thank you for the lovely get well card. Still, I'm a little surprised you didn't come get me. I know what Dr. Wilfrey says, but is it really wise to take risks with one's health? I could have a relapse, you know. With fall here, I think about all the fine times we used to have in the park. Remember how sometimes you would bring along a tennis ball? You would throw it and I would retrieve it every time. Except for once when I landed in something nasty and I brought you back a stick instead. Ah, how I miss those days. Yours truly, Ike. P.S. Imagine how awful it is for me to be stuck inside my tiny cell. P.P.S. I still feel pretty sick. So let's take a look. This is what Ike is imagining on this side in the black and white. Oh, poor Ike stuck in a cell. That's what he feels like, when in reality, this is actually what his reality is. They had a Rottweiler pumpkin festival. Oh my goodness, there's pumpkins and dogs chasing around and playing, and there Ike is underneath a tree with his writing utensil and his piece of paper, writing Mrs. LaRue a letter. I don't know about you boys and girls, but I feel like I would want to be here. Ike seems to be exaggerating a little bit about what his stay at obedience school is like. October 9th. Dear Mrs. LaRue, by the time you read this, I will be gone. I have decided to attempt a daring escape. I'm sorry it has come to this, since I am really a very good dog, but frankly, you left me no choice. How sad it is not to be appreciated. From now on, I'll wander from town to town without a home, or even any dog food, most likely. Such is the life of a desperate outlaw. I will try to write to you from time to time as I carry on with my life of hardship and danger. Your lonely fugitive, Ike. Oh boy. This is all of what Ike is making up in his head, when in reality, there he is in his sunny obedience retreat, or his getaway, his school, mailing the letter. I wonder how he's going to escape out of obedience school. In his mind, he thinks he's going to escape probably down that rope, right? Let's see in reality what happens. The Snort City Register or Gazette. So we're back to an article from a newspaper. October 10th. LaRue escapes doggy detention. Former Snort City resident Ike LaRue escaped last night from the dormitory at the Igor Rottweiler Canine Academy. The dog is described as toothy by local police. His current whereabouts are unknown. So toothy most likely means that when a dog bares its teeth, so he's not very happy. To be honest, I thought he was bluffing when he told me he was planning to escape, said a visibly upset Gertrude R. LaRue, or Mrs. LaRue, the dog's owner. Ike tends to be a bit melodramatic, you know? Now I can only pray that he'll come back. Asked if she would like Ike to, if she would return Ike to Rottweiler Academy, Mrs. LaRue said that she would have to wait and see. He's a good dog basically, but he can be difficult. Wanted, escaped canine. Ike, reward, return to Igor Brotweiler Academy. So, how did he escape? I'm curious how he ended up getting out of the academy. Is that Ike in that taxi? I think so. But how did he get from the academy to the taxi? I wonder. And I wonder where he's headed. He said he was going to go from town to town, but October 11th, somewhere in America. Dear Mrs. LaRue, I continue to suffer horribly as I roam this barren wasteland. Who knows where my wanderings will take me now? Hopefully to some place with yummy food. Remember the special treats you used to make me? I miss them. I miss our nice, comfy apartment, but mostly I miss you. Your sad dog, Ike. P.S. I even miss the Hibbins cats. In a way. So, all of this in black and white is what Ike is imagining is happening to him. That's what he sees it as. He's in a train car and he's got his sack of his belongings and he's still in his little prison uniform. And then we have what's actually happening. Ike has found himself in a restaurant and he's being served a burger and french fries and he's writing his letter. I don't know about you, but it seems to me like Ike might be fibbing a little bit. Still. October 12th, still somewhere. Dear Mrs. LaRue, the world is a hard and cruel place for a stray dog. You would scarcely believe the misery I've endured. So I have decided to return home. You may try to lock me up again, but that is a risk I must take. And frankly, even more than myself, I worry about you. You may not know it, Mrs. LaRue, but you need a dog. Your misunderstood friend, Ike. Snort City or bust. So he wants to go back to Snort City, and that's what he's imagining he's doing. And in reality, looks like he's on a plane. Eating peanuts and drinking water. The Snort City Register or Gazette, October 13th. Hero saves owner. Hero dog saves owner. Ike LaRue, until recently a student at the Igor Brotweiler Canine Academy, returned to Snort City yesterday in dramatic fashion. In fact, he arrived just in time to rescue his owner, Gertrude R. LaRue of 2nd Avenue, from an oncoming truck. Let's see. I lost my place. I'm sorry. Oncoming truck. Mrs. LaRue had made the trip downtown to purchase a new camel's hair coat. Apparently, she neglected to look both ways before stepping out into oncoming traffic. The daring rescue was witnessed by several onlookers, including Patrolman Newton Smitzer. He rolled right across 2 lanes of traffic to get at her, said Smitzer. It was really something. I haven't seen rolling like that since I left the police academy. Oh boy. So on Ike's way home, so remember the last page, he said, I've decided I want to return home. He sees his owner, Mrs. LaRue, crossing the street, and she didn't look both ways to see if there was any cars coming. And look at that. Ike tumbled in front of the truck and pushed Mrs. LaRue out of the way to make her safe. I wonder if Mrs. LaRue is going to send Ike back to the Canine Academy or if she's going to have him stay at home now that he just saved her life. I like Ike. Mrs. LaRue was unhurt in the incident, though her coat was badly torn. I don't care about that, she said. I'm just happy to have my Ike back home where he belongs. LaRue said she plans to throw a big party for the dog. All the neighbors will be there, and I'm going to serve Ike's favorite dish. Boys and girls, what do you think Ike's favorite dish is? Hmm. I'll bet he can't wait to taste the chicken pie. Welcome home. And there he is. He brought back his typewriter, his bowl, and look at that. He even got a few presents and his favorite food, chicken pie. The end. I really like that book because it's really interesting to think about how sometimes we think of things that are happening and we think that they're, and right now my dog is barking. Champ, I'm in the middle of videotaping. Thank you. So sometimes we think things are happening and we think that they're going really bad and that we're exaggerating what's really happening. But in reality, things are actually okay. And sometimes in our heads, we make them out to be worse than they really are. So I hope that you all enjoyed this read aloud of Dear Mrs. LaRue. I certainly did. And it was a great ending. And I hope that maybe one day I can read this in class in person to you all. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye for now, boys and girls.